Hey there, artistcaleb here with the Optimized TV Pack, a quick guide / tutorial. To begin, navigate to the Blueprints folder. Select the TV blueprint and drag it into the scene. You can also drag the remote blueprint and the global media broadcast blueprints in as well. To change the TV mesh, make sure that the blueprint is selected. In the Details panel, select the TV mesh. Then in the Static Mesh area, click the drop-down menu. Then choose the TV you'd like from the list of static meshes. Each TV has a helpful text that becomes visible when the player overlaps the trigger box and a trigger box. The trigger box itself and the text can both be edited. In the Details panel, select the text component, and from here there are a variety of options, from translating the text component to editing the text itself, color, scale, font, etc. And then of course the trigger box itself, just select that, and you can move it and you can resize it, etc. The TV blueprint also includes a media sound component. The inner radius and the fall-off distance can be adjusted. To adjust this, select the Media Sound component in the Details panel, and here you'll find inner radius and fall-off distance. And I would recommend adjusting these here rather than in the master blueprint, if you'd like to keep the fall-off unique per individual instance. Currently, by default, I have the interaction set to left mouse button to power the TVs on and off, the E key, which cycles input sources, and I'll get to that in a moment, as well as the Q key to cycle global channels. Think of it as Q to change channels. To play media on your TVs, the first thing that you're going to want to do is go into your project folder, and in the content folder, you're going to want to make sure that there is a movies folder, if there isn't already. I've included a movies folder, and inside of it, I have put a video called TV Static. You can reference movies that are not in the movies folder within the content folder of your project. However, if you reference movies that are outside of a movies folder within your content folder, then it won't get packaged if you're going to package your project. So you want to make sure that you include a movies folder within the content folder. The TV pack has been designed to behave like real-world TVs. You can have a global broadcast or local inputs, or both. Think of local inputs like game consoles, DVD players, etc., and the global broadcast like regularly scheduled, continually playing network TV, such as cable TV or satellite TV, etc. We'll begin by setting up local inputs. Every movie that you want to play on a TV will require a media player, a file media source, and a media texture. These can be found by right-clicking in a blank area, choosing Media, and here you'll find Media Player, File Media Source, and Media Texture. For your convenience, the TV pack includes 7 videos, which you're free to use in any of your projects once you've purchased the TV pack. Although it would be easier to reuse the existent assets, if you'd like to create videos from scratch, the process is simple. Right-click in a blank area, choose Media, and select Media Player. It's convenient to checkmark the Video Output Media Texture asset. You'll notice that once this has been created, the media texture is automatically named the same. And finally, you'll need a File Media Source. Navigate to Media and choose File Media Source. Then in the File Media Source, in File Path, we're going to choose a video. And this is something worth noting. If I navigate to a video outside of the videos folder within the content folder and choose any random video, we're going to get a little yellow warning here, a little notice that says the selected media file will not get packaged because its path points to a file outside the project's Content Movies directory. So if you're going to package this, then just make sure that your video is included in your movies folder within that directory. After this, navigate to the Blueprints folder. And for our local videos, we're going to double-click on the Local Videos Data table. Here, you can add or delete rows that will be referenced on the TVs. To add a row, click the plus symbol and name your row. I'll go ahead and name this example _1. Select the drop-down under Media Texture and choose a media texture. I'll go ahead and choose vid1. And then in the source, use the drop-down and look for vid1. Leave playlist blank. You can add as many rows as you'd like, as many rows as you have videos for. For the local videos, or the local input, I already have 4 videos included, 4 rows. Always remember to save before closing. Next, select the TV that you'd like to use. Then in the Details panel, look for Input Sources. Click the little plus symbol to add an element. Then in the drop-down for that element, in the Source Type to Use, select Local Source. Then in the Local Source Data drop-down, in the Data table, select the drop-down and choose Local Videos. Once you have that data table selected, simply select one of the rows that have been created within that data table. In this case, we'll choose Local Video 1. You can add as many elements as you'd like. To delete an element, click the little drop-down next to the members and choose Delete. If there are no input sources, the TV will use a no source texture, which is just a media texture. Now we'll move on to setting up global broadcast channels. Unlike local inputs, which begin playing when the TV is turned on, global broadcast videos play continuously in the background. Setting up global videos is the same as the previously mentioned local videos setup. Import your media, then in the Blueprints folder, double-click on the Global Videos data table, set up or edit your rows, save, and close. And then select the Global Media Broadcast. You'll notice in the Details panel that there's a No Signal Video. This is similar to the TV config's No Source Texture. In this, I have the static setup. Any video can be used as a No Signal Video. Essentially, this means if there isn't anything playing on your global broadcast, or that is, no array elements have been created, you can use any video to indicate that. In this case, I'm using static because in a real-world situation, that's pretty normal. As with local videos, the little plus symbol adds an element. In here, choose Global Videos and the row name from that data table. If you add an element and do not include a data table, that is, either the global videos or the local videos, and you leave row name blank, it defaults to your no signal video, meaning that among your list, for those channels that will be played on your global broadcast, static will be one of them, or whatever video that you choose. Having set up your global media broadcast blueprint, choose any TV, select it, and in your input sources, your array elements, simply choose the source type to use as global broadcast among the two, local source and global broadcast. Leave local source data empty. And in the Global Media Broadcast section, choose the Global Media Broadcast Blueprint. Remote Control Setup. To use remote controls, simply drag and drop the remote control blueprint into the scene. Select the remote control, and in the Details panel, under Default, select the TV to control. In this case, I have TV Blueprint 4. Each remote control can control one or multiple TVs. To change the mesh, select the Remote Mesh static component. Then in the Static Mesh area, select the drop-down and select from one of the 4 static meshes for the remotes. The TV Pack has been optimized to run well on even low-end machines, having little or no impact. However, the number and size of video files playing concurrently on multiple TVs can affect the frame rate. Usually, just allowing for a little bit of time to allow the videos to load will solve that issue. It's also possible to alleviate that by double-clicking on the file media source. There'll be a little drop-down. Choose Precache File. Selecting Precache File will load the entire media file into memory and play it from there. if possible. Finally, if you double-click on the TV blueprint, you'll notice that my interaction events are currently set to left mouse button to turn the power on and off, E to cycle the input sources, and Q to cycle global channels, changing channels basically. Of course, these can be customized to your own configuration. My goal with the TV Pack was to allow people to jump in and start using the TVs right away, and make it simple. However, if you'd like to customize it further, I'd suggest reading the documents for Media Framework. I'll include the links to these below in the description of the video. Thank you so much for choosing the Optimized TVs Pack, and I wish you every success in any project that you're using it in. If you have any questions directly concerning the Optimized TVs Pack, just direct them at me and I'll do my very best to answer them. These things get pretty complex, but I'll do my best. Anyway, thank you so much again, and I hope the TVs serve you well.